Black Bolt, don't do it!
You will pay for this.
What's going on, Marvel fans? You know those characters whose powers just seem impossibly far-fetched? Today, we're looking at one of them, Black Bolt. His voice is so loud, it can literally shatter planets. But how does that even work? Is it magic? Science? Alien tech? We're about to check out all the details behind Black Bolt's ridiculously powerful scream. You don't want to miss this. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
No!
The source and nature of Black Bolt's power. So, first up, who exactly are the Inhumans? They're a unique race of superpowered beings who first popped up in Marvel Comics way back in the 60s. Their origins go back millions of years to experiments by the Kree aliens. The Kree took early humans and tinkered with their DNA, using something called the Terrigen Mists to unlock powers, creating a new race. Their original goal was to make living weapons to use against their enemies, the Skrulls. But, as these things often go, the Kree got a bit nervous when they realized the Inhumans might eventually become even stronger than them, so they bailed on the project. Since then, the Inhumans have developed their own amazing civilization, usually hidden away in their city of Attilan. They're less like a typical superhero team, and more like a royal family, with superpowers, a meta-human monarchy, and at its head is their king, Blackagar Boltagon, or Black Bolt. Even though things got a bit messy for the Inhumans, you just can't argue with how awesome that original main group of characters is. This royal family from Attilan first showed up in Fantastic Four number 45, way back in 1965, which was right when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were just on fire with their creative ideas. The main crew included Queen Medusa, Princess Crystal, the deep-thinking martial arts guy, Karnak, their cousin Gorgon, and of course, Black Bolt. Now, Black Bolt's own origin story is intense. He's the son of two of Attilan's top genetic scientists. What makes him extra special, even among Inhumans, is that he was exposed to those mutagenic Terrigen Mists while he was still an embryo, before he was even born. This unique early exposure supercharged his powers, especially the destructive potential linked to his voice. From the moment he was born, his abilities were a problem. Can you imagine a baby whose cries could demolish buildings? And not to forget, this early exposure made him stand apart from all the other Inhumans in terms of strength. It's safe to say that no Inhuman is capable enough to defeat Black Bolt, whether it comes to using powers or hand-to-hand combat. Black Bolt's famous quasi-sonic scream looks simple, but it's complex. Deep inside the speech center of his brain, there's a unique organic mechanism. This produces a mysterious kind of particle that interacts with electrons he harnesses from the air around him. This whole process is tied directly to his vocal cord. Any attempt to speak unleashes an uncontrollable wave of energy. A soft whisper can rock a battleship or destroy a city. But don't be fooled. Black Bolt is far more than just a person with a destructive voice. We're talking superhuman strength. He can go toe-to-toe with powerhouses like the Hulk and Thanos. He's fast, agile, and has highly enhanced senses. His body is incredibly resistant to nearly all forms of physical damage. He survived blows that would kill any normal being, endured extreme temperatures, and even endured a blast from his own T-bomb that destroyed a space fleet and warped reality. Black Bolt's power, how long he lasts, how tough he is, and his quickness are all much better than any other Inhumans. He's also fast and nimble, and his senses are just out of this world. Pun intended. And when the Skrulls caught and tested him, they found out his sonic scream is set off by his feelings. Or at least it partly depends on how he's truly feeling at the moment. On top of all that physical might, Black Bolt is also partially resistant to telepathy and shares a semi-telepathic bond with his blood relatives. This allows him to resist mind control, even from his powerful telepathic brother Maximus, whom he's even mentally overpowered on occasion. The destructive potential, from whispers to planetary devastation. His voice packs so much raw power that Black Bolt has destroyed entire planets with it, just like he did in an Inhumans comic. Issue number 6, back in the late 1990s. Black Bolt was in an impossible situation. His people, the Inhumans, were being attacked by humans who had broken into their hidden city, and they were losing. As their king, he had to do something. He was pushed into a corner, so he used his ultimate weapon, his voice, as a last resort to protect everyone. He can also channel his powers inward to make himself even stronger and faster, and he can focus that energy through his arms as powerful concussive blasts. Black Bolt is even capable of pouring all his available energy into one single devastating punch, called his Master Blow. But doing that leaves him weak. He's highly tuned into electromagnetic phenomena, and he can also jam certain electromagnetic machines. It takes a lot out of him, but he can even create these particle and electron interaction fields that are solid enough for people to walk on. For a while now, Marvel's been trying really hard to make the Inhumans a big deal everywhere. We've seen a flood of new Inhuman comics. They announced a movie, then a TV show, and they've popped up in computer games and on mobile too. So the characters from Attilan have been getting more exposure than they ever had before. But this big push hasn't always worked out so well, to be honest. Famous Feats. Comic book examples of catastrophic power. Black Bolt's life has been filled with tragedy and immense responsibility. His first uncontrolled scream as a young man, when he discovered his brother Maximus dealing with the Kree, resulted in the Kree ship crashing into the Attilan Parliament, accidentally killing his own parents and driving Maximus insane. Later, Black Bolt had no choice but to use his voice to break the barrier and destroy Attilan in order to save his people when Maximus imprisoned the Inhumans beneath an indestructible energy dome. He's had some epic moments with that voice. One of the biggest was when he faced off against Thanos. Thanos had invaded Earth, and Black Bolt, even though he was weakened at the time, screamed right in Thanos' face. At the exact same moment, he set off a Terrigen bomb. It destroyed Attilan, but it was a massive blow against Thanos and his forces. There's another wild story where in an alternate future, Thanos conquers everything. It turns out that after Thanos finally killed Black Bolt, his dying scream was so powerful, it destroyed Celestials and even cracked their entire planet. And there was a time when Dr. Doom got cosmic powers. Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four built a special machine to focus energy, and all Black Bolt had to do was utter one single word into it, and that was enough to release sonic power and take down Dr. Doom. Hopefully, we'll see more of Black Bolt getting the spotlight he deserves. Maybe even more in the movies, because his story is definitely worth telling. Because his voice is always so incredibly dangerous, he went through some serious mental training to stop himself from making even the tiniest noise, even in his sleep. And we'll cover more about this in the next section. The burden of power, silence, as survival. Needless to say, Black Bolt's body is tough and can withstand pretty much any kind of physical harm. He can take huge hits and walk away without a scratch. He has managed to absorb punches from some seriously strong dudes, like Namor, Thor, Gladiator, The Thing, and even the Hulk. He can handle temperatures too, like the freezing cold of space or the burning heat of re-entering the atmosphere. And if that's not enough, Black Bolt can make himself even tougher by creating this almost unbreakable force field around his body to really amp up his damage resistance. Thanks to his vocal cords, Black Bolt had to be kept all by himself in a soundproof room from the second he was born until he finally got a handle on his powers when he was 19. He eventually took the throne, which was his right by birth, and there's just no denying how powerful Black Bolt truly is. We've talked about how a whisper can wreck buildings and battleships, but one of his actual screams once ripped a hole straight through reality, and it's the same deal in the MCU. Black Bolt's real skill is his incredible self-control and how often he stays silent. Marvelous verdict. Now you know exactly why Black Bolt has to be so careful every time he even thinks about speaking. What's your favorite Black Bolt moment? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video.